So Mental Illness Awareness Week was last week, but I'm still making this video now, so. I don't want this to come across as like anything really scientific. I'm definitely not going to talk about anything scientific. I do not know. You know, I took psychology class in high school. Like that's, and you know, I watched like BuzzFeed videos. I watched a lot of, I watched videos on it, so I read some articles, but I don't want anything here to come across as like fact, if that makes sense. I kind of just want to talk about like my, you know, experience slash, yeah, I guess like my experience and knowledge of mental health and like how I became more aware of it personally. So I would say that I never really used to think about mental health. When I was a kid, like I luckily was always pretty, even though like I don't, like now I feel like I was always pretty happy. Whether or not that was true, I feel like overall I was a pretty happy kid. I had my little temper tantrums, definitely, but I wasn't like really stressed yet. And I wasn't like feeling like irrational anxiety over anything at that point. So that was great that I didn't have that. And I liked always things to be like orderly and everything, but I had like less, I just didn't freak out as much. And I didn't really realize that, I didn't think about how like my moods would go up and down or anything. It was just kind of experiencing it. I'd say it wasn't really until high school that, you know, more of my friends started grumbling, mostly about dealing with depression or anxiety, or being OCD, various things. And I kind of started, you know, trying to understand more about, you know, what they were talking about. You know, they would talk about various meds, and I was, you know, I did try to be, you know, supportive, but it can be really difficult to understand what someone is going through, which is kind of something that's hard because I haven't been like diagnosed with anything. I don't want to come of any like mental illness. Like I definitely think I get, like I kind of feel like maybe I have possibly like low level anxiety, because I definitely have a lot of, there's some times where I just like get into these like panics, and there's things that like irrationally I know I don't need to worry about, but there's like that little voice in your head that it does not, you know, it just doesn't go away. And you're like, oh, that sucks, but there's nothing I can really do about it. And I do journaling, and I, you know, try to listen to music, whatever, but I'm going on a tangent. So going back to my point, I think it's really important to recognize that someone does not choose to have a mental illness. It's like obvious, but you know, people will be like, oh, like snap out of it, or you know, like just like, you know, and I say like just push through, and like even I say that, and I do think that's more like positive. I don't think it's like, because you can't just like snap out of it, because you didn't just like snap into it, you know. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be like right now. It's a lot more complicated than that. And I know sometimes like if I'm, you know, feeling very anxious and I don't really have a good reason, like if I don't have a good reason why, then people are like, oh, well then why are you anxious? And I'm like, I just am, like I just have this like fear. I just like, my stomach's just upset. I'm just having trouble sleeping. I just like have it, and it's not, you know, there's not like something I can just pinpoint, and I can't just like solve a problem really quick. And I don't want to assume anything, but I can only feel it for my friends who have a mental illness of some kind that has been like diagnosed and they're seeking official treatment, that it must be just so much like worse for them. And I think it's really important that we empathize with everybody. You know, I don't think anyone wants anyone's pity. I'm not saying that let's all be really sympathetic, like I'm so sorry for you. I mean, maybe that's what someone particularly needs, but I think more often people just want to feel validated and understand that they're not wrong to feel a certain way. They're not wrong to be in like a mood or a funk or however you want to put it. And people need to respect when someone says like they need to like prioritize themselves and take some time for self-care. I think especially now people are always promoting self-care and like me time, but I think some people need more of that than others. And I know sometimes I'm like, oh, like somebody want to hang out, and I just know I can't like emotionally cope with that at the moment. And I'll be like, no. And I usually will say like I have work to do, and I guess maybe working on myself, does that count? I'm not sure, because I don't want to feel like I'm pushing my friends away, for myself. But I think it's important to recognize that self-care is important. And I think it's hard in college too, because there's so much emphasis on, going out and doing things, obviously going to your classes, taking notes, doing well, doing lots of activities. There's always things to do, and it can be really difficult to take a step back and reflect on how you're actually doing with everything. I think journaling for me helps with that. Going to counseling helps me with that. But it can be difficult to fit in time to do those things. Like the Temple University has something called the Resiliency Resource Center, and I've only gone a couple times. I would love to go more. It's a really soothing environment with lots of really interesting books and lots of ways to relieve stress and just techniques for various things. And I just do not have, like, sometimes it feels like I do not have the time to go. And that is so depressing. Like, I feel like I do not have the time to go take care of my mental and emotional well-being. Like, that should be a big deal. Where was I going with that? Yeah, it's hard to put us... I'm like struggling with the words here, but I don't really want to edit a lot out of this video because I want it to feel authentic or genuine. Same thing, but I don't know, I guess I feel kind of uncomfortable talking about this sometimes because since I don't have like an official mental illness or mental disorder, it kind of feels like maybe I'm not allowed to talk about it. Like, I definitely feel like I deal with anxiety and I need things to go a certain way. Like, I don't know if I feel like I've talked about this. Like, I definitely over plan. Like, everything needs to be in my planner and my calendar, and it needs to be like right down to the T, down to the minute. And if it's not, or if things go out of whack, I have to adjust everything. I can't just like live the moment because I need to plan it. If I don't have things planned, I kind of freak out and I get anxious. I stress over how things are going to go if we don't have a plan. And I don't think that's really healthy, but I think that right now I don't think it's like necessarily a bad coping mechanism for my anxiety about life in general. I don't know, maybe my chair's just like spinning. It's cool, just spin it back. Yeah, I think I probably should have made a real plan for this, but I think I kind of want to leave people with the idea that even though there are specific mental like disorders and illnesses that people are labeled with, I think everyone should respect each other's own experiences with mental well-being. And if someone is stressed and needs a mental break, regardless of whether they're diagnosed with something or if it's a frequently occurring thing or a rare thing, that person should be treated seriously and not like made fun of, not pressured to just ignore it, just snap out of it, to just like feel better, to just brush it off, to not worry. I hate being told don't worry about something, because being told to not worry about something really does not help me worry less at all, and just makes me like, oh my god, why am I worrying about this? Like, why do I worry about things that don't matter? It just makes it worse. If any of you guys have any experiences with mental illness, mental well-being, and self-care, please let me know in the comments. I'm sorry if this video was really like rambly. I think it just comes from the topic being something that I don't feel comfortable necessarily talking about, but I want to feel more comfortable talking about, and I think should be spoken about more. So that's why I made this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more content, and take some time for yourself this week to focus on you and improve your mental well-being. See you in the next one, guys.